All right. You know what time it is. Neil Ratner, Rock Doc here with a story. So, January 3rd was Stephen Still's 77th birthday. And today, I thought I'd tell you a few things about Stephen that you might not know. And as usual, a little background first. So Stills was born in Texas, but being from a military family, he moved a lot. And moving left him exposed to different types of music, Latin music in particular, since he lived for a time in Costa Rica, the Panama Canal Zone, and El Salvador, where Stills graduated from high school. All right, now, after dropping out of Louisiana University, Stephen played in a series of bands, including one with future Eagle member Don Felder. Now, Stills eventually ended up as part of the Go-Go Singers with his future bandmate Richard Fury. Now, the Go-Go Singers were the house band at a very famous club called the Cafe A Go-Go in New York City. All right, now, when the Go-Go Singers broke up, Stephen did a lot of session work, which is when he got a call to audition for the Monkees. And according to Stills, when I auditioned for the Monkees, I sang and hung out for a while. They called me the next day to tell me that they were interested and could I come another day. They were polite, and I sensed that they were more interested in me as a person. I was real upfront with them, and I said, basically, I'm not that interested in the show. But mainly, I wanted to write the songs, because that's where the moolah is. And then I said, listen, I know another guy that's a lot like me, and he's probably a little brighter, and he might be a little bit quicker and funnier. I had that beaten into me by this guy in New York for reasons that still escape me, that I was not funny, and I should not try to be funny. And so that's when I suggested Peter Tork. So it was Stills that suggested Peter Tork for the Monkees. And of course, Tork became one of the Monkees. All right, I want to talk about one of my favorite songs written by Stephen Stills. Obviously, he went on, and I've told the story of how Crosby, Stills and Nash were formed. It was at a party in Laurel Canyon, and Graham had quit the Hollies, and he knew, I think, David Crosby, and then Stephen was at the party, and the three of them sang harmony, and they became Crosby, Stills, and Nash. All right, but I want to talk about one of my favorite songs, which was written by Stephen Stills. And I guess it was at the original Woodstock in '69 when Sweet Judy Blue Eyes got cemented into my brain. Now, I've told the story before. I was tripping with my friend Bat on mushrooms. It was Sunday afternoon. We experienced this unbelievable thunderstorm where we had this little piece of plastic and we never got out of the plastic until hearing that song at the end of the thunderstorms played over the loudspeakers. The storm had subsided. The sun came out. We threw off the plastic, and that song will forever be cemented in my brain. Now, of course, the Judy is singer-songwriter Judy Collins. Now, she met Stephen in '67, and they dated for 2 years. But then Judy fell in love with actor Stacy Keach while doing the New York Shakespeare Festival. Stills was devastated and didn't want to lose her, but knew the breakup was imminent. Now, according to Collins, Stephen came to where I was singing one night on the West Coast and brought his guitar to the hotel. And he sang me Sweet Judy Blue Eyes, the whole song. And then I said, oh, Stephen, it's such a beautiful song, but it's not winning me back. And it didn't. But the two remained friends. And after all these years, a few years back, they made an album together and were recently on tour together. And I've spoken to a couple people who actually saw them and said they were spectacular. Now, according to Stephen, the reason they stayed friends all those years was because they married other people. Collins added, when they started rehearsing for the tour, Stephen said to me, my God, we should have done this instead of the romance. And I said, but then you wouldn't have written Sweet Judy Blue Eyes, so that wouldn't have worked. Couple more interesting tidbits about Stephen Stills. That's Stephen Stills on guitar on Bill Withers' classic song, Ain't No Sunshine. Bet you didn't know that. And Booker T produced the album with his band, and the MGs played on it. That's Ain't No Sunshine. But for some reason, Steve Cropper, their famous guitar player, was unavailable. And the engineer on Bill Withers' album happened to be in the middle of Steven's album. And Stills was also having an affair with Rita Coolidge, whose sister was engaged to Booker T. So there you go. There was all kinds of crazy interconnections, and Steven got to play on that song, famous song. All right. Now, finally, many years ago, Steven was backstage at a fundraiser with Tony Bennett, and the two got friendly and talked for about 45 minutes. And during the course of their conversation, Bennett gave Stills 2 pearls of wisdom. Number 1, never be afraid to lower the key. And number 2, never be afraid to use a teleprompter. According to Steven, that was the secret to a long career. I found both to be true. Yeah, the great Stephen Stills. I hope you've gotten to see him in some form or other. I saw them at Woodstock. I've seen the others. I've seen Graham Nash and David Crosby. I've seen them both at Levon's Ramble, which was a real treat to see both of them. David Crosby played alone. That was a year or 2 ago. And Graham Nash actually had a photography. He's a great photographer. Great rock and roll pictures. And he had a photography exhibit up here. And he happened to show up that night at the Ramble. And he sat in with John Sebastian. It was way cool. So I haven't gotten to see Stephen Stills. But Mario, my friend Mario, the Big M, was a very good friend to Stephen, has told me some cool stories about Stephen Stills. One day I'll have Mario up here again, and he'll tell you some stories about that. All right. That's my story. I hope you enjoyed it. It's David Bowie's birthday today, and at 3 o'clock on WDST Radio Woodstock, iHeartRadio, I will have a great story about David Bowie. I have another story tomorrow, 3 o'clock iHeartRadio. I'm going to have a reading coming up this week, and you know where to find me on the internet. All right, as I always like to tell you, always remember to keep on rocking. And I'll see you somewhere real soon. All right. Bye for now.